Coming to from the finest of America.
It's the Bob and Bob Show. Hey, what's up? You're listening to the Bob and Bob Show, another Saturday morning. I always have the two crazy bastards in front of me. We got the bearded one, Bob. What's up, buddy?
Tardy.
And we also have Chops.
Hiya!
Yeah. Today, we have a lot of good stuff to talk about, man. We have some cancer-causing chemicals that are in being found in shampoos.
You don't say.
Yeah, and we have we're going to talk about the abortion law in Alabama and all that crap. We also have China unveiling some trucks that unleash drones on the public, or not the public, the enemy, which will end up being the public.
Isn't that always the enemy?
We got ICE moving like 250,000 freaking migrants, they're calling them now, in the U.S. They have to hire a private contractor, I guess, and have that move all these migrants, quote unquote, all over the country.
How lucrative! Now that there's a way to monetize it, it's okay.
They used to call them people coyotes.
Yeah, right. You got to shift the cash flow to the right institution, man.
We have a Texas man who chops off his mom's head, decapitates her. I think she was already dead. I don't know.
You know what I've noticed? On almost every show, you have a column, a snippet about something being chopped off.
Right. I know. Yep. I know.
Oh, yeah. This is a trend now.
This is craziness.
It's
and
either a leg or a head or a wiener.
Hey, I'm just showing craziness, man. Craziness.
The whole
right.
pork and bean setup.
All right. A couple other things, and then we'll throw some other stuff in there. But men are too afraid to mentor women because of the Me Too movement, meaning they don't want to be their managers. They don't want to teach them anything because they think it's going to be sexual harassment or something.
We should flip the script and have a Me Too movement called Men Afraid to Mentor Women. Me Too, hashtag Me Too. I'm afraid of women.
Then we're going to get into the tariffs. We're going to get into the tariffs, too. Walmart saying they're going to hike their prices because of these tariffs, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff. I don't know if you guys got anything on your minds today. What do you guys got going on?
All
Nothing?
kinds of stuff.
Like what? Give me a heads up on what you want to talk about.
Well, we're going to talk about the stuff you got on your list right there, dude.
Oh, is that how it goes?
And if we get bored, I'll have an announcement later.
I got stuff to throw in.
An announcement. I have an announcement to make.
He does have an announcement to make. He was talking about it on the way down here, but he didn't say anything about what the announcement is, so I'm a little bit frightened, actually, because he won't say nothing about it.
I hope it's not something with butt sex or something.
No, it has nothing to do with butt sex.
Okay.
No, unless that's something that you want, but...
No, dude, I don't want that.
Not for me. No. I thought you were talking about Bob.
No, not at all.
You like that he's feeling out the situation. Did you see that just now?
I threw that in for a maybe.
He's beta gay testing.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So the
successful.
Oh gosh. So the Center for Environmental Health, based in Oakland, California, performed a study on shampoos and soaps and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, one of many, many other studies that have been done.
Oh yeah. So California. You know what Proposition 65 is? In California, the liberal state of California, the ones that weren't they banning the straws and doing all that craziness a while back?
Yeah, some stuff like that.
So they made this Proposition 65 where companies have to show that it's not hurting the environment, their products and stuff, or products that are involved with their products, in the assembly process.
That to me is a classically liberal move, and the kind of move that is actually anti-tyranny.
Well, they did these studies, same thing under Proposition 65. They found all these cancer-causing chemicals in there. I can't even pronunciate some of these things. So.
Of course.
But they're in hundreds. It says over 100 brands of shampoo.
Mm-hmm. It's almost all of them, because they're almost all the same thing. If you look at the ingredients, all this stuff on the market is almost all the same stuff.
Well, I wonder what the Me Too movement thinks about all their shampoo having all this stuff in there.
It's probably a different movement.
What do you mean it's a different movement?
The Me Too thing is about guys touching them or something.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the Me Too movement is all women, isn't it? Or is there men, too, being touched by women?
I mean, I guess they're technically men. Don't assume my gender.
Chops doesn't know his gender, apparently.
He don't
know.
care, man.
Oh, yes, I do. And both of you know I do, too. You've seen the videos.
He's like, I am fluid AF.
AF. So, I don't know. I mean, cancer products we find, or not products, but cancer-causing chemicals and products we find across the United States. It's not just in shampoos and
It's
soaps.
in the air, dude. It's everything,
So,
man.
let's continue on bashing Trump and bashing Biden and bashing political bullcrap and not worry about chemicals that are everywhere in our environment,
But there are people worried about that. But see, it comes under fire, though, saying that it's like anti-American to make sure stuff's safe. The problem isn't a government making sure stuff is safe. Like a corporation, they care about one thing: profit. Do they care if you live or die? No. Roundup, Agent Orange, and all this other stuff is proof of that. There's a million, thousand, million, jabillion ways to prove that they really don't care. But when a power structure steps in to thwart that, that is the kind of tyranny check that we're supposed to have. So it's not a bad thing for the government to put checks in the way of predatory or irresponsible corporate behaviors.
I get it, but what's the other side of it, man? Like,
it just has to be balanced.
no, I'm just
man.
saying. Okay, we got
Let's
cancer.
be truthful.
We have cancer-causing chemicals in these shampoos and all this other stuff in our environment. But what else is it causing? Is it causing this? I'm gonna go my gender bender route again. Is it causing people to chop off their genitalia?
It could, in a large sense. It's the whole Alex Jones gay frogs joke. But what he was talking about, and this is a real thing, and there's a lot of different studies and research that's been put into this, is that the phytochemicals that are in all the pharmaceuticals, the artificial products that we use as these different polymers and chemical compounds and soaps
and even the containers,
beauty products,
the containers
that they're in.
Yeah.
This stuff breaks down, and it is a hormone interrupter, and it is a DNA mutation. This is what makes it carcinogenic in the first place.
I was thinking,
And it goes into the waterways. Wildlife lives in the waterways. They are now a part of this too, whether it's intentional or not. And there are record numbers of hermaphrodite fish like salmon and frogs. Ta-da!
yeah, our sound guy's off.
I know he's
Cloud
over.
9.
He's over here picking.
I'm extremely concerned about this shampoo epidemic.
He's over here picking his tattoos.
Picking his tattoos.
So
I wonder if Chops has any of this influence of chemicals in his diet.
that's what Alex Jones was referring to, and of course, with him being Alex Jones and being marginalized.
How's that for sound effects?
He's certainly sensationalized himself and kind of did that on his own, even if maybe that was his whole goal. But the whole gay frogs thing that gets blown out of context and just passed off without, what it was all about, it is a real thing.
I think he's getting sued right now for
I'm sure
copyright.
he's been sued a million
Not about
times.
talking about gay frogs, but it's some other frog or something. I don't know. He was like paraphrasing and using it as I don't even know what it was, but I forget the name of it. I saw it on somewhere when I was going through articles the other day.
Well, you know what? I saw an article recently. It's one of them alphabet soups. I think it was either the CDC or the FDA or the USDA. It was like one of those three. They have ruled that fluoride is a neurotoxin.
Oh, really? Took them
Yeah.
long enough.
I know. Only 60 years.
Only 60 years.
Only 60 years of inundating municipal water supplies for them to realize that it ruins your brain. Awesome.
Yeah.
Stuff that we all knew before they even put it in there.
It's okay. Just carry on. Keep doing what you do every day. Drink your Mountain Dew. You'll
But
be
your
okay.
teeth are better for it. I
Your
mean, there's
teeth.
no other way to take care of your mouth, you know.
Right. You got to use fluoride and hexafluorosilicate
Yeah,
or
you have
whatever
to
it
drink
is.
neurotoxins and calcify your pineal gland and turn into a drooling idiot.
Right.
You docile cow.
And then you'll vote for Biden.
And you'll fall into controlled opposition and not even realize how easily swayed you are.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
By a team of liars.
Speaking of Biden, Mr. Creepy Crawler, apparently, from what I'm reading from reports and statistics, is he's ahead of the game in the Democratic run for president.
Biden?
Yeah.
Oh, he just groped his way to the top.
He groped his way. How does that even? Listen, come on, man. We know the liberal side. The liberals are all Bernie Sanchez. I mean, Bernie
Dude,
Sanders.
Biden is not.
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez Sanders.
Biden is no more of a lefty Democrat, quote unquote, I guess you could call it, than Hillary Clinton. But I guess some people that are pretty extreme on the left actually, for some reason, champion Clinton, probably because she has a vagina. But at least that's what we're told. But It's silly because
Just make your own sound
she's a
effect.
neocon war hawk, and so is Biden, dude.
Right.
They're anti-constitutionalists
if
and they're warmongers.
all the craziness that was coming out as soon
Corporate
as
shills.
Biden started and he announced his run. Remember we were talking about it, and then all of a sudden you see all the groping memes all over social
Oh
media.
yeah, I collect them all the time, man.
I'm
I
like,
got a whole bunch of
wow.
them.
I'm like, wow. How does this dude now? He's the head candidate in the Democratic Party right now.
Right.
Like you are getting so much bad vibes immediately. So
Well, the thing is, that's just something that's funny because it's creepy and it's public and it's something to make fun of him about. But and for a lot of people, that kind of thing does actually sway their personal opinion on whether they want this guy to be a leader or not.
But
What
look at
I'm
Clinton.
looking
Look
at,
how famous he got. Look how everybody's still behind him. with
what I'm
Monica
looking at
Lewinsky.
is that what Clinton.
he was already
Yeah.
the president, dude.
Right, but still boosted him way up even more.
Well,
I'd have
he
voted
was
for him
impeached, man. But I mean, that was all wag the dog politics too. What I'm talking about is, Biden, rubbing some shoulders and giving long, pressy hugs and stuff that aren't necessarily welcome is one thing, but it keeps people from talking about the fact that he's one of the architects of the war on drugs, one of the largest government-instituted criminal
hold on.
moves
Who are you
against the
talking about?
population in the history
Biden.
of America.
You're talking about Biden or Clinton?
Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
Well, Clinton played along too. Believe it, buddy.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
smuggling cocaine through the CIA, man.
Well, I'm just
right
saying.
in Little Rock, Arkansas.
I'm gonna look at it from a manipulative standpoint here because if he was getting so much bad publicity immediately, now all of a sudden he's a front runner. So that shows me that there's some kind of thing happening where they're boosting his numbers, or like where's he getting his political contributions from? I don't understand how he boosts up in ratings like that because the way I'm seeing it and the way I feel.
Are they buying ratings? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying like honestly, if I look at it, I think Bernie Sanders should be way ahead of him because he has a huge following.
Well, we know the media lies.
Right,
but
so-
we also don't know because we're just a couple of guys that see a very small of anything that's out there. Like what we absorb and what we are exposed to see.
Yeah.
We're not even
allowed to
exposed
see.
to everything.
No, we're just
Like,
rationalizing stuff by what we know.
well, I mean, maybe like 75% of these baby boomers, maybe all the baby boomers that were all about Hillary Clinton just because they're not smart enough to really dig into it all that rationally. The same ones that didn't like Sanders, maybe they're now into Biden. That would be a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We're not talking
it
about-
could sway that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
They're not even on social media seeing all the grab.
That's what I mean.
the
Like we
grabber
don't.
stuff.
Yeah, we don't even we don't see everything. We just see what two men can see. You know, like that's all.
Yeah. Pelosi and William Barr, they're at the some police memorial, and she came in there, and William Barr said, "You bring your handcuffs," talking about the Mueller report, and
Yeah.
they're gonna arrest everybody and all this kind of stuff. So that's funny. But I don't really want to talk about it because
At a funeral?
no, it's at a police memorial thing that they're
Lord.
having. And Pelosi, I mean, she's 100 years old. She freaking slurs her words. It's like she's drunk all the time. So I don't know. I mean, she's evil in my mind. Freaking Satan.
She is just as evil as every freaking speaker before, man.
They're all crazy, but
I know.
I also hear they pull a race card. A lot of these AOC people and stuff, they pull these angry freaking old white men, and they're making the laws and yada yada yada.
Yeah, what
know.
they're and it's not even necessarily that true. They're categorizing a very, very, very small group, a very small minority of the whole population, and putting it all into an even smaller demographic, calling it white men or old white men, when the reality of that demographic isn't that they're all. It's self-evident because these people aren't old white men that are accusing this, and they're in the same power seat.
Yeah,
They are legislators too. It's a lot more diverse than 50 years ago or even 20 years ago. So they can't really pull that card so much anymore. But they're gonna pull it as long as the dumb public believes it. And this old white men thing, this is one of the most logically untrue and inconsistent claims ever, really, because you're putting a few hundred people that aren't even all old white men and calling in basically like a third of the population, blaming them for it. It's no different than being like all black people are garbage just because one black guy beat you up in high school or something.
Right. Well,
It's like-
throughout history, though, it's been a bunch of old white dudes making the laws. I mean, that's the truth of it.
But that's not the truth of it. That was the truth of it in 1960.
That's what I'm saying. Throughout history, it's been a bunch of old white people making laws.
And here, in America, yes.
And honestly, I'm not a big fan of it either because they're old, rich white
Oh, don't get me
people.
wrong. I was on Facebook one day and I said something about the abortion thing because they were.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that next.
Well, the specific quote in this was something that I think it was Camille Harris or somebody. I don't know.
Oh
It was
God.
one of them said something like, "This is a typical male response," and I'm like, "What do you mean that's a typical male response?" Like that guy that said that is not a typical male. First of all,
Right.
We started talking about it, and of course, it's somewhat adversarial because I'm a middle-aged white guy and I couldn't possibly know anything about anything concerning vaginas or legislation or anything else. But I don't necessarily have to know all that to know bullshit when I smell it, and it's factually completely untrue. And I just said, you know what? I don't want him making, just for the record, I don't want that guy making policy moves over my life either. So it doesn't. It's not an adversarial thing, you know what I mean? I don't want them to have any more control over my life than you do over yours. So we don't have to fight about this. We can just get rid of them.
Well, the problem we've talked about the real problem, because if you want to sit there and go after old white men or something, you really got to go after the fact that we don't vote on policy.
Right.
And we've talked about this many times in the show, and it's typical that they just vote on policy themselves without you seeing it.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with corporate interests in mind.
And it's also middle-aged women and black men and black women and young women of color and young white women and everybody else in there too. And young white men. Yep.
Yep. Well, see.
And old ones.
And so you want to sit there and you want to vote. You want to vote in these people and have them make decisions for you, which they end up ultimately in the end making decisions against your freedom.
Always.
It's crazy, and people
But
sit
it's
there.
for your own good,
I know,
man.
but they want to sit there and champion this guy and champion that girl and champion this. And dude, that's not what it is. Read the bills. Go back into history.
The legislators don't even read the bills.
I know. Sometimes they're not even allowed to read the bills.
Yeah.
Rand Paul was, I forget what bill it was. It was a while back, but they put it in this room, and the bill was in there. It was like 450 pages or something long, and you had an hour to read it.
Yeah.
And then you got to go in and vote.
Perfectly logical.
You got to go in and vote later that day on that law.
I would introduce a bill that ends that practice.
Right.
I'd have to watch the movie on that bill.
Right.
I gotta read that book.
Oh, you got to watch movies.
I gotta watch a movie on that
Like I
bill.
need visual aids.
Yes. You got the movie? Is this on DVD?
I need a slideshow.
Yeah. Any pictures?
Oh, gosh. All right, so.
Is it a scratch and sniff?
The scratch and sniff. Oh, my God.
If it ain't a scratch and sniff, Chops ain't interested, man.
Get it out of here.
Right. Oh, jeez. All right, so. Abortion, the big thing on the social media right now. Women should have a right to choose if they could kill a baby.
Dude,
oh no.
Abortion's crazy because all of the arguments have incredibly valid points, and they totally contradict each other. It's like it's a real conundrum, dude.
Yeah, well, Alabama banned. They restricted abortion, and
Ohio did too, by the way.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
What period? Nobody can get an abortion?
I don't know. In every
it's
circumstance,
considered like manslaughter and murder now, pretty much. Like,
yeah, they don't have any. I mean, at least Alabama one that I was reading doesn't have any circumstantial things like you got raped or that doesn't even work.
Yeah,
like you can't do it. So what? You got to have this child and give it up for adoption right away, or I mean,
dude,
are they gonna let you do that?
You know what? These are the same people. These are the same people that think too much money is being spent on social programs, although they must be completely oblivious about the prison and industrial complex, but that's another subject here.
Right.
In some cases, it could be life-threatening if they have that baby.
Well, if they got to have something
if they
in there
get
for
raped and the mother could die giving birth, what? You just killed that lady, too.
Dude, it's pretty complicated, man.
I'm sure the vaccine manufacturers are pretty salty about it.
You know what? I have a couple things. One thing I want to say about it, though,
because they need that aborted fetal tissue for their
right.
vaccines.
Well, there's an inconsistency here. These are the same people that are barking about social programs costing too much. Well, first of all, prohibition doesn't work. People are still going to get abortions. They're going to do it in secret. It's going to be unhealthy. It's going to be unsafe. It's going to be completely unregulated, and it's going to cause a lot more problems. Abortion counts will go down. There's going to be a lot of orphans because of that, because they aren't necessarily just going to all of a sudden be good parents. Right. Or parents at all, for that matter. They're going to give them up for adoption, and who's going to pick up the tab for that?
No, taxpayer.
Exactly.
And then they're going to get thrown into
wait for a nice big bill, and wait for a population of unwanted people with all kinds of problems because they are born into that horrible situation.
Right, and they throw that kid into that kind of environment for years on end with no parents, and they
Dude.
end up being a
Torturing that
criminal.
kid.
Or, yeah,
Torturing that
It'll be
poor kid.
capitalized on. It'll be another institution for private companies to make money on through Grover, through government crony deals. I mean, I see nothing but blackness coming out of this, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's so morbid, man.
dude.
It's-
I don't know how to feel about it though. I mean, I don't want the women to just cop out and kill a kid because they just don't want to deal with it.
Right,
That
yeah.
kid could have a life
Yeah,
that
but-
ends up being good, you know.
Okay,
or
but
that
he
woman.
could.
Listen,
Yeah.
that woman could. I don't know how many times I've seen, single moms or single dads or whatever turn their lives around because
Yeah.
a kid got involved.
Yeah, I understand that too. That
So-
happens all the time.
Right. So, which way do you swing on this
We're
one?
talking about millions and millions of pregnancies, though, man.
Well, here's the
It's
other
going
side.
to be a major impact.
This is a law. This is government involvement. So I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think maybe the women should be able to do it. It's their body. Do whatever they want to do. I guess it's crazy that you want to kill a child like that.
Right.
I think the heartbeat law, if it has a heartbeat, then you can't do nothing. I think you have to have the child. That's how I feel, I guess.
You know what, dude? I kind of, my mindset has kind of been one of, you know what? It's none of my business. If a mother wants to kill her baby before it's born,
Before a heartbeat? I mean, you mean
I'm just going to keep it simple. If a mother wants to have an abortion, if she wants to kill her baby before it's born, because let's be scientifically honest, you are killing a baby.
yeah,
That is
okay.
what you are doing.
Right.
And the whole your body thing, well, it's sort of your body. It's in your body. That's your involvement. Is that a big deal? Yes, it's huge. You know what else is a big deal? That baby is not your body.
Yeah, but you're being it's not, and you're just a vessel for
Right.
another life, right?
Exactly. That's what makes it so complicated. But the other side of it is, from a social standpoint, if they want to terminate the pregnancy, get rid of it completely as if it never existed, sweep it under the rug, even though, if you're going to murder your kid, if you're willing to murder your kid before it's born, you probably shouldn't have the kid, and I'm not going to raise it. So go ahead.
Okay, how about, all right, you can get the abortion, but you're going to owe $300 a month for 18
You
years.
can't you can't get blood from a stone, dude.
I'm just saying, but let's put them in jail. Oh, let's make some more friggin' tax money.
Yeah,
go out
see
the
how
door.
black it is?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
black.
Then they need to
black
pass
as
out
night.
pass out birth control for free. Then in that state,
It's
Well,
cold.
right.
It's-
Well, we have measles outbreak everywhere, and they won't give vaccines away for free. So we see how that works.
It's a cold. Well, to do tax paid government subsidy. It's a dude. It's just a cold and deep abyss. Any way I look at it. But here's something even more draconian, a little bit Kabbalistic, a viewpoint on it. Global birth. This is like some crazy conspiracy stuff here.
Okay, let's get it.
Global birth rates are down like a full third from what they were 50 years ago.
Georgia Guidestones,
Dude,
depopulation.
what if this ban on abortion is to get that number back up?
Why do they want the number back up?
Maybe. Well, yeah, exactly. I'm just saying. I'm just theorizing, just throwing crazy stuff
That's
out there.
more
dude.
possible dissidents later on.
Yeah,
They don't want that.
but it's also more possible cattle. We don't know anything.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
just
know
saying,
nothing.
dude. I mean,
I get you. We're
what
just
if they need fodder?
beep. We can do a beep. Beep, beep.
What if they need fodder for a future war that we don't even know about yet? It's only 10 years away, man.
what, a war?
Yeah, because that generation that's now going to all those millions of aborted babies that are now going to be institutionalized and probably conscripted as soon as possible.
You just said aborted babies institutionalized.
Well, yeah.
You can't abort them and then bring them back to life.
You know what I'm saying?
Send them to prison.
So all those unwanted
Take your little
babies
fetus to prison.
will be institutionalized out the gate, turned into draconian soldiers for the New World Order Army,
Gangster
and there you
fetus.
go.
They got a number on the back of their head. That's it. Like
Who
Man,
Hitman. Yeah.
who knows what the plans are, man? I don't know.
Take them out.
Do they really want a population that low? I mean, I know a little bit about the Georgia Guidestones, but 500,000 people is almost nothing, dude. There's almost like 9 billion right now. But birth rates are lower than they've ever been. The population is dying off in a big way right now. People are having less kids than ever.
They're putting birth
Then there's
control
all
on
the
food.
abortions and stuff.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good thing.
You think what's a good thing?
The birth rates are down. I think it's a good thing.
Oh, I do too.
Because I'm
okay
tired.
with
I'm
that.
tired of these jackasses driving around 35 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour. I'm tired of standing in the freaking gas station.
And you are out in the middle of nowhere.
know,
you
but-
should go to the city, dude. You'd go insane.
Oh, I know. I do every once in a while.
I
see
hate it.
But I'm like, you standing in the gas station line. You got, this person yelling at that person. Somebody yakking on their freaking phone. There's a line of like 20 people. It takes
Yeah.
you 20 minutes to get a donut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I think people need to Need to start dying off.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I'd rather be on a washed-out gravel road where we have to pick a new route to get back and come back and fix the road later. I'd rather do that on a four-wheel drive or ATV than deal with traffic, than sit in gridlock on freeway. I would rather deal with a washed-out road.
Oh, you can't do that anymore on your ATV because now they're going to pull you over. You don't have plates and then blah, blah, blah.
Well,
blah,
there
blah.
won't be no cop over there either, buddy.
Right. Yeah, you only see a cop every
You know what the cop is?
week.
It's the Colt Single Action Army on my hip. That's what the cop is.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. So let's so now we're going to go from abortions and depopulation and birth rates down to ICE is hiring contractors to bring in over 250,000 migrants. And
Well, now there's
now they're calling them migrants, and they're not even illegals. I guess they do their paperwork, then they send them off into wherever, and then they got to come back for court, and we already know how that goes.
Sure, yeah.
So they don't come back for court, and then they just get lost in the system.
Well,
and that's
look
it.
how quickly this crisis, quote unquote, just got flip flopped.
I know. Now it's like we're bringing in these migrants, and they're causing the wars down there, and they're causing all the problems, and they're just flooding up here.
Well,
across
our
borders.
policy is causing
Our
all
policy,
the problems.
yes, it is.
Oh, that's what you meant by there.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
It's pretty crazy because they want to make it look like people who don't want illegals coming into the country as racists and bigots, and it's all these white men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, it's just trying to protect your country from you intentionally flooding it with criminals.
Well, it's that and fear mongering.
Yeah, well, and then they sit there like, oh, these poor children and these poor families that need to run from all this crap. Well, I get it.
The
okay?
cabal is criminal, buddy.
That's how you do it. You surround the criminals with kids and families and stuff that look like, caring people that just want to get away.
Subvert them,
Yeah.
subvert the criminality out of them.
Yeah, well, no, just like mix the criminals in with them as they come through. You know.
Oh,
what
I
mean?
gotcha.
So, I mean, obviously, there's tons of reports everywhere that this illegal
Well, we've all
immigrant
seen
killed
Scarface.
this. Yeah, it's like this illegal immigrant killed that person and blah blah blah. There's reports everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever.
It's a degenerate situation, man. It really is. And here's what I see, though. They're talking about contractors. Well, now enough crony deals have been made to where, the language can change to change the public opinion, because now there's a way for some corporations, i.e. contractors, well, that was a close call, i.e. contractors found a way to make a bunch of money through crony dealings at the expense of the taxpayer. So now it's not a big deal anymore. It's not a bad thing anymore.
Well, the millennials, they'll sit there and they got them, on board, like, humanitarian, save everybody kind of thing.
And why not? But do it the right way.
I know, but then they're like going to run to their safe space when they see him come into their neighborhood or something. You know what I mean?
They'll go to give him a hug and get shot in the face because they'll run to the wrong one. They'll be like, I want the best depression points. I'm going to find the craziest, most insane one, the one that we know is bad, and go try to convert him and then get killed and raped. And
right. Well,
like,
no.
the immigrants are bad.
They'll vote to, no wall. They'll vote to bring the illegal immigrants and disperse them throughout the freaking United States. But then when they see one, they flip out and run to their safe space in their little bubble and say, oh, my God, it's a criminal. He's got tattoos on his neck. You know what I mean? He's a Mexican. Well, you just voted to let him over here. Now you're going to run like a chicken shit?
I'm not afraid of Mexicans. What I'm afraid of is bad policy that ruins populations and makes criminals out of everybody out of desperation. That's what
we're different.
That's how we got here,
We're
man.
a different breed. I'm talking about the millennials.
Yeah,
because
I got you.
Like, there's a high percentage of them that are freaking retarded, man. Like,
It's
seriously.
everybody. There's a high percentage of baby boomers that are
Right? I just offended somebody by saying retarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be this kind of twisting on language and being
childish.
offended and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, the mental capacity of some of these millennials is
Well,
ridiculous.
it's childish sentiment.
It's infant-like, man. It's crazy.
Totally.
Actually, we got, I think
sophomoric.
I got Mark Dice coming up here in the halfway part.
Awesome.
And he's going to talk about, he's interviewing millennials. I don't know where he's at. I think he's in probably California or somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might have aired a little piece of this in one of our previous shows, like, I don't know, 20 ago or whatever. I cut out some new clips. They're pretty good.
Just like this immigration thing, how the public attitude reflects what is given to them by information givers.
Yeah.
It's almost the same as with marijuana. How all the laws and mandates and stuff with marijuana are so lax now because there are now corporations with their hands in it.
Yeah.
And there's a new wave of business too, and that's great. That's awesome. But I'm talking about small business owners.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the state can get into it and do their regulation and alphabet soup thing and bring these big companies like Pfizer and Merck into it, it's going to get a lot more friendly and a lot more medical and a lot more regulated. But it's okay now. It's not a narcotic that's going to kill you and be a gateway drug anymore.
Right.
Just like it's amazing that how long it took them to go from giving people heroin and ruining populations to letting them smoke some weed, but they got to pay the government for it.
Right. We'll catch you guys back at the other side. Bob and Bob Show. BobandBobShow.com.
See you in a few.
Talking to millennials today about safe spaces.
Okay.
Can you help educate me about a safe space? What the hell is that?
Being in our bubble.
Can you tell us what a safe space is?
I mean, a place where you're not going to get hurt or ridiculed.
And so on a college campus, if there's people with like Halloween costumes that maybe make you feel uncomfortable, does that make it not safe anymore?
Yeah, that's not a safe place.
So it's not safe at all to be just seeing those Halloween costumes?
Mm-hmm.
So if you saw like a white person wearing like a sombrero and that's not safe?
No, because that's ridicule. That's being made fun of. It's using that as a caricature.
And you're not joking, are you?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, times have really changed. I can't believe how insensitive these people are these days.
Yeah.
I mean, wearing these costumes and trying to have fun on Halloween, I'm not sure where they think they can get that idea.
No clue.
You're still not joking, are you?
Still not joking.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just talking about the issues of the day. Can you explain what a safe space is to me?
A space where an individual feels free to express anything and everything.
Is incest acceptable in the safe space without being judgmental? If some folks want to practice incest, are they going to be welcomed in your safe space? If there are two consenting adults?
Like, if they're two consenting adults, I mean, I guess so.
So like if a father and his daughter were having a sexual relationship, as long as they were over 18, you wouldn't be judgmental, you would allow them in your safe space? They're part of the LGBT community?
If they both wanted to and were like within totally sober and cognitive
And
states of
consenting adults?
mind, yeah.
Okay. And you're not being sarcastic at all?
No, I'm not.
You're very
no.
serious.
Yeah.
Yo, 30-minute mark.
Nice opening, Bob.
Mark
know.
Checa.
Dude, I got this guy trying. Well, never mind what he's trying to do, but we're sitting next to each other and he's highly inappropriate.
He always is, so
I
yeah.
know.
I guess it's okay to have some incest inside your safe space due to the millennials there with Mark Dice, huh?
You know what, dude? I don't completely disagree with that.
Oh, so you can go to your safe
No,
space
no.
and screw your sister?
I'm going to pretend like Mark Dice just asked me that question, and I'll go ahead and answer
Okay,
it.
go ahead.
Go ahead and answer it.
Let's hear it.
The safe space. Okay, that first girl was really, really, really stupid. She doesn't even have a brain, so...
Like,
The
if
se-
I was going to go, yeah, I think it's okay.
Oh, she was talking. I'm talking about the one that dressing up for Halloween all of a sudden is a problem. And she's an idiot. Doesn't even have a brain, so she can be offended by everything, and everybody can laugh at her, and she can go hang herself or something because she's too fragile.
That's
but-
the round of voters we're getting now. So.
I know, man.
That's
So,
terrible.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna hang her, but whatever. She's free to in her safe space. The second one, yeah, I don't really care about her opinion as long as she leaves me alone. But the second one was actually speaking on liberty, man. I mean, he clarified it. He's like consenting adults, this and that. But he said your safe space specifically. Would I want that in my safe space? No, because to me that's not a safe space. Because I don't want to watch you have sex with your daughter, even if you two love it up like pigs and poop. I don't care if you do it. Because, we're not talking about child abuse here. We're talking.
Oh, hold on. I care because research and
don't
studies
care.
show that incest comes out some weird inbred,
Yeah,
crazy,
I know.
not
They're going
right
to
in
do
the
it
head
anyway,
person.
but who's really doing that?
I don't know, man. Go to West
how
Virginia.
many kids are they going to have? I'm from West Virginia.
Oh.
You mean go to Buckingham Palace is what you mean, dude. It's the
Oh,
blue
okay.
bloods that hump each other.
Figuring it out.
No, so here's the thing.
So you're saying it's okay for you to have some incestual sex?
It's okay for me not to give a crap if two other consenting adults want to.
Well, listen, it comes down the road in society. Now we have to deal with this brain dead, weird.
But they're going to do it anyway.
So
The
that's
3 people in the world that are going to do it are going to do it anyway. They can do it in their own safe space. I don't feel the need to govern them, man.
yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. But these
That's
people,
all I'm saying.
But these people have to end up in society, and they're going to screw stuff up, and they're going to end up being on welfare.
What kind
and
of
you gotta pay it.
society do you really think they're going to be in, dude?
I don't know. The mountains of West Virginia. I don't know.
Yeah, here's the other thing, though, the incest thing. Gee, that's an aristocrat thing above anything else, man. That's, dude, the wealthy classes, the royalty and nobility of Europe, they've been crossbreeding for centuries. That's why they're all whack looking and deformed and stuff. They've washed some of that out now, but there's a lot of royalty from like France and England back in the day.
Yeah.
They were like insane degenerates with deformed faces and broken bodies, and they were born that way because they were freaking inbred. Dude.
Then you couple that with a bunch of tea drinking, and their teeth looks all crazy.
Yeah,
so,
I mean these people were in charge of the world,
inbred
dude.
rotten tooth.
But yeah, I mean I don't. Chief Wahoo doesn't offend me. Even if it was Chief Honky or whatever, it still wouldn't offend me because I can put it in the proper context, and I'm not a big slobbering weak pussy.
What if it was the Cleveland Crackers?
I don't care. And then
I
they'll
think
be
that'd be
like,
awesome,
yeah, but
actually.
you've never faced real diversity. It's like, first of all, you don't know anything about frame of reference or personal experiences of anybody other than yourself and the people you know personally, so you can shut up with that.
Right.
I'm
Just 'cause
hypothetically speaking to strangers
I know you are,
here.
but just because you're a white guy, you don't know nothing.
Yeah,
you don't
and
know
it
nothing
doesn't-
about oppression.
It doesn't mean I don't know what empathy or sympathy is, and or apathy or anything else. Of course I know what all that is. I'm not stupid. I can put myself in someone else's shoes. I don't have to experience exactly what they experienced to get a grasp on what that may be like for them or not. What I'm saying is, how big of a deal is it? Do you have any real problems in life? You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
Are
this
you-
isn't one of them, dude.
I know, for real. It's
Put it in context, man. It's you can
2019.
if you choose to, you could be flattered by it, but you choose to cry about it instead because you've been taught to be a crybaby that needs your mommy, and your mommy is going to shove its bureaucratic nipple in your face and turn you into a mushy pile of crap because that's what you were bred to be. Now go pay your
Well,
taxes.
Here's the reality. The real deal is every race has been some kind of slave race at some point in time. Every single one of them.
Cattle on a tax farm,
So
dude.
don't give me this, I'm this color, I'm that color. Everyone. You
Yeah.
got some Irish blood in you, you have been a slave in your ancestry somewhere.
Yeah,
You know?
everybody.
So I want my reparations.
Yeah, that's so silly, isn't it?
Give me my money from back in the 1700s.
Yeah.
You know?
Do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and history is important. History is also history. So,
It doesn't matter anymore. They got to get rid of it. Erase history.
yeah.
Because now you won't understand what really happened.
So they erase history so the social fascists that erase history can repeat exactly what history did in the ends of reaching the ends of their idea of utopia being the same thing that those tyrants in the past were doing. Isn't that ironic?
Oh, wow.
How they can become what they are trying to destroy so easily.
Well, the other side of it is history was written by the winners of the wars. The winners who, so...
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's history, then there's actual history.
Right,
And it's,
so
it's as malleable as science. It's unsettled,
Right,
but
right.
until
So-
it's proven.
When you're reading it, and then when you're reading history and you're looking into it, you actually got to say, well, who wrote about
Yeah.
this, and where did it come from,
Yeah, well, you got to look at all. Yeah, you can read about American history from
and who edited it?
right. You can read about American history from American history books, but you know what? Read the maybe read like
The Federalist Papers.
yeah, the German version of American history or the Indonesian version of American history. There's going to be more than one, man.
Right. Yeah, but you got to use your brain, man. You got to think about it. You got to think about back in those days what they were dealing with.
Sure.
And then you got to think about how we're dealing with stuff in these days. Then you got to compare the two.
Yeah.
I guess this is just thinking logically and trying to weigh things out.
critically.
Nobody does that anymore.
Don't do that.
Critical logic.
Yeah, it told me on a movie the other day that this happened, so this is what it is. Because Chops, all he does is watch movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
You know what I think is funny is that movies can be made based on true stories, like Charlie Wilson's War, for example, and people still don't put together the dots on how things came to be and why through power structures, and even all the dumb Hollywood stuff that they watch, and it just doesn't sink into them that
some of it's real.
Yeah, the ones that are based on true stories. Is it exactly like how it went down? No, but pay attention to what you're watching and let it click in your head that these shady things do actually happen. The same people that you're calling conspiracy theorists are the ones that already knew about this before the movie was even thought of.
Right, right.
And if we told you about it, you'd tell us we're insane and stupid. This is America. You can get what you pay for. You know, and all kinds of other dumb crap.
The other side of it now
sense.
is if you see your Hollywood people and you see government and you see all these figureheads, so to speak, and they're all making movies and talking about all these things that are happening and bringing it into the light, this is how you know things are going to get worse, because they used to hide all this stuff.
Well, they
now,
wait until it's not that big of a deal
right,
anymore.
Well, not only that,
but
they've dumbed down the population so bad.
Where they don't put the dots together.
Right, and they're just like, whatever, we'll tell them everything. And then when we get sued or whatever, like, we told you.
Oh, there's always disclosure.
Right. So that's what's really happening.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If you want to get down to like really like, like theoretical power dealings on the most extreme level, is that disclosure is mandatory and part of the deal, because not stopping something is seen as consent according to the rules. We're talking about the very tips of the cabal. So they always tell us what they're going to do. They always tell us exactly what they're going to do, and if we don't stop them, that's consent.
Well, you got.
But people are too dumb to even catch what they're being told.
No, they're way dumb.
Yeah.
I was at a certain facility the other day, and I had a pamphlet on aspartame and sugar, the fake sugar, and how it causes cancers and neurological and all that other crap, and it's in your soda, it's in all your stuff, as a pamphlet, just a little thing, probably like 3 or 4 pages.
It increases your chance of dementia and stuff.
Yeah, I left it on a table. This was a test on my own behalf. I want to see how some of the public would react to seeing something like this on the table. And it literally says, your sugar is fake, it is poison, aspartame is to blame. That's a big giant header on it, okay? Left it on the table, and a couple people walked by, looked at it, just kept walking by. Next guy walked by, grabbed it, threw it in the trash.
Of course. That's about it, too.
Hey, I got a question. Do you get paid for going to that bank? Or do they put your sperm on ice?
What are you talking? No, I wasn't going to a sperm bank. I said nothing. It was a facility.
I wondered why they had that kind of paperwork at the sperm bank. That made no sense. But
well, maybe your sperm count,
has
sperm count goes
sugar
down when you eat a lot of sugar.
Could be
fake sugar.
Chops thought the blood bank was the sperm bank. You should have seen what happened over there.
Oh no!
Right, I'm like, wait, you're draining the wrong thing.
All right, so let's move along. China. All kinds of things with China.
Infants
obviously
made in China.
Listen, I want our listeners to understand something. I think a lot of them do, but China is some of the biggest communist-style tactics there are on the planet.
They're also some of the biggest capitalist-style tactics.
Well, for the elites, they're capitalists, but for the general public, man, they're slave working. Those are slaves. Like those guys.
Well, they're slaves.
Yeah.
They're slaves under every model, man. So why people get caught up in this whole like communism on one side and just laissez-faire capitalism on the other. It's like, well, they're both equally horrible, guys. We can stop arguing between the two and get real about it.
Well, let's start. Okay, let's start off.
We owe China trillions and trillions of dollars, and we're going to start an economic war.
I know. Well, let's start off with that then. We're going to talk about these tariffs and Walmart saying they're going to have to hike prices because of these tariffs.
Yeah.
All right, we've talked about this. Tariffs are, I guess, a tax on the American people in a sense. They're a price increase that's going to happen to whatever products Trump put the tariffs on.
Yeah, inflation goes up, man.
So it's going to cost more. Now, everybody's going to get pissed off, and then, I don't know what Walmart statistics are going to end up being financially, but I know it's going to take a damper on the American public.
Dude,
always.
You know who's going to shop at Walmart in spite of tariffs?
Who?
Everybody that already does.
Yeah, everybody. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Well,
they're just going to pay more.
Dude, I'm a label reader. I'm not an in-depth label reader because I know some of the terminology. I go through it real quick and I look, and if I see made in China, I move on and I go to the next product. Made in China.
You do a lot of searching, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But I don't go to Walmart very much either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you'd never buy anything there.
No, I try my best not to.
China owns the U.S. economy, dude.
Right.
They own it like the Federal Reserve, dude. Two different facets of the economy. They are king. China owns the United States. Make no mistake about it.
Well, it's a trade war, and it's starting. And here's the kicker. If you were smart, okay, the real deal here is you vote with your money. You use your money as a platform to move companies where you want them to go.
Your dollar is your voice.
Right, but the only way you can do that is by everybody doing it.
It's a collective power.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody, if you keep us separated like we are really bad now.
It starts with the individual.
Yeah, so stop shopping at Walmart or stop shopping at certain places where everything's made in China.
Let's put this in simpler terms. If you want the outcome of this tariff to be what it's intended to be, I guess, for what we're told, if you want U.S. products and U.S. economy to reign supreme over China, I guess is the boogeyman here in the economy wars, stop buying stuff that's made in China. Read the label. If it says made in China, don't buy it.
Yeah, all you Trump supporters out there. You want to support the tariffs? You want to support your president? Stop buying Chinese.
And by the way, the price of U.S. steel is going to go up too because the price of Chinese steel drives the market. So the tariffs raising the price on Chinese steel is also going to raise the price of U.S. steel because corporations don't leave money on the table. Don't you guys know how it works?
Well, this Walmart, they're talking about they're going to try to get products from other countries now.
Okay.
To try to lessen the burden.
Yeah, and that's how competition works.
Yeah,
let's see
that
what's
works
going
good.
on.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. I mean, China needs to feel the blunt edge of our sword, I think, personally, because they have been raping our economy for I don't know how long
You
now.
want to smack China with the flat side of the sword?
Yes, I do. Nice old big red mark right on their face.
Yeah.
But, China, the goods that you're getting, they're made slave labor, and they have suicide nets at the top of some of their manufacturing companies because these guys jump off the freaking top. They can't take it anymore.
It's like how America was about 100 years ago, man.
Yeah.
120 years ago.
Henry Ford. Yeah. There we go. So we know we've established the fact that China is a communist nation, and they do have capitalism running around in there, but it's I think
it's among the power elite, though.
Yeah, it's among the elite.
Like
so
everywhere.
Their prices are high, their wages are low, they are stacked up on top of each other in apartment buildings for the most part.
Yeah.
Yes, you have your middle class and you have your low class, but you have classes. Their middle class is our low class here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it was here 120 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this just goes to show, I mean, I'm going to bounce off that subject from how, we're going to stay in the communist and militaristic style China is. I mean, they have a bigger freaking female army than we do, a male army.
Well, a lot of these communist nations, they don't necessarily make gender distinctions in the same way that we do in America or whatever. With our typical Abrahamic culture is very gender oriented. What I mean by that is like societies that are built on Abrahamic or Judaic religions like Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. They all have the same gender ideas on what men are and what women are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These social constructs in our society tends to be built around that. A lot of these massive communist nations that completely remove all of that and make the state the god, they don't differentiate. There's women and men right next to each other on the infantry line. You know what I mean?
I get it, but pretty soon, and here's another China report. They're unveiling a new armored truck that launches drones to attack its freaking enemies.
Dude, that is terrifying.
This is that swarming little tiny drones that carry little bombs on them.
The drone self-destructs after it puts a hole in your head.
Right, but if you get a swarm of 3 or 4 bees ain't gonna do nothing to you, but if you get a couple thousand bees, they're gonna do some damage.
Dude.
So this is the same principle with these drones. Tiny little drones that are zipping around and they got little mini bombs on them. You know what I mean? And you get like 100 or 200 of them to go into a building and just do damage, wreak havoc.
Yeah.
So this
It'd be 200 of them buzzing into a room and all going off at the same count would be like setting a cluster bomb on the floor and it just
or they all have like a heat-seeking technology or whatever.
It goes right to a human forehead.
Yeah, they just stick on you, and let's just say you're deflecting them. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Something's gonna stick to you at one point.
It's like getting shot by a 45, dude. It flies up to you, puts a freaking 45 ACP size hole wherever, and then it self-destructs. Either way, you're screwed.
All right, so this truck, it's equipped with these tubes. They got these tubes on it, launch tubes they're calling them, okay?
Yeah.
It's got 12 launch tubes that are for just reconnaissance drones that are
Reconnaissance
drones. And they're just going to go out and do video and audio, whatever.
They're gathering intel for the attack.
Yeah, and then they have 8 of them that are for explosive-laden drones.
Yeah.
So
those are the little grenades.
And listen to this, man. They could travel 110 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
So you can't even outrun it.
No.
With your car or something.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah. No. So
unless you've got a really good path and you're a really good driver and you've got a car that can go fast, you ain't outrunning nothing. And as soon as you stop, they'll be there.
Yeah. Well, I think Russia has done stuff like this. I'm sure DARPA already has this well in the making on our side, dude. So I mean. Can you imagine this is the crazy,
might
dude. This is so crazy. People need to start listening and paying attention. Your government and other governments throughout the whole entire world are developing things against you. They're militarizing space. It's a race now.
They're militarizing AI. That's like a move as big as the atomic bomb, man. That's a big deal. Like,
there's no need. These wars. I said this I don't know how many times, and I think you've always said that there's always that greedy, warlike person, or in humanity there's always going to be
it is a real facet of the human experience, the human condition, man.
I mean, it has been since we can see back
exactly
far enough.
It's self-evident, man.
But dude, we're always evolving, and I think we could change. We don't need war. There's no reason for it.
What we can do is try to sway it in the right direction. We control this big bang,
right? Well, if we all united across the planet, it'd be a different ball game, but that's never going to happen. So we have to deal with oligarchs that are
oligarchy.
We got to deal with these people who are constantly at war with each other, making money.
Yeah,
with killing innocent people all the time.
Who pays for war?
We do.
Yeah.
With our lives.
Who benefits from war?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Dude, there was a Vietnamese soldier. He was talking about something on TV, and he was meeting. They were talking about him meeting an American soldier that he actually was in combat with. Like these two engaged in hand-to-hand combat in a rice paddy somewhere, and both walked away from it.
Yeah.
And somebody tracked them both down, and were like, "Do you guys want to meet?" And they're like, "Yeah." You know what I mean? Like, I want to meet this man. Like, we're both just old men now.
Right.
And they're both sitting there like, nobody wins wars. Like, the North Vietnamese guy was like, "Oh, we won the war." The narrator's like, "You guys won the war." And he's like, he's like laughing like, "You're so stupid." It's like, don't you know? Nobody wins
Nobody
war.
ever wins a war.
We
Never.
all lost, like.
But meanwhile, we got people, like we've talked about the commercials. Yeah. The ones with the Army and
the propaganda.
The Marine Corps. They're like, you could do this and you could be a fighter for good.
And you can, but war is war, dude. At the end of the day, it's about destroying other humans and destroying what other people are doing so you can take it from them. That's all it is, man.
It's stupid. So, every time, and with Trump, I think it's a good thing that we're going after China like this. I really
do?
I don't agree with anything China does. I know they're a giant fat pig that's ready to fight at any moment.
We gave them what they have.
I know.
And they own us now.
I know. Our society consumes all their junk goods that are... And what they're doing over there is they're stripping their land.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
destroying
toxifying their whole environment in order to supply us with a bunch of junk.
Dude, the air in their cities is so bad.
Oh, I mean, we have cities like that here, but it's not like that.
It's not that bad, though.
I know.
That's
so you're talking about global warming, but you're buying Chinese goods, and the environment's all screwed up, but you're buying China, and China doesn't have some of the laws and regulations like the EPA.
You're not using a straw, but you just spent $400 at the mall on a bunch of stuff that came from China in a place where there's no EPA regulation at all, and they polluted the ocean and the sky for you.
Yeah, so good save the earth there, buddy.
They also made $390 on your ass. Yeah. Congratulations.
What did you do to save the planet today? What did you do? Oh, I bought some Chinese goods.
Yeah.
All right, moving ahead.
Did you really need that stuff? The answer is no.
I don't know. Chops with the toilet flushing effect all the time.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
He has like 500 freaking sound effects.
I love it.
He does like 5 of them. He just goes down the board.
I think he finally just woke up.
I need more.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I've got a lot on my mind.
Like what?
Do you really want him to talk about
it? I got lots and lots. Listen, man.
What's your announcement you have to make?
All right, we're going to
stay
get
on the
into
mic,
this right
man.
now.
Talk right here. Don't grab the mic. Don't do those things. What's wrong with you?
Listen, don't talk to me like that. I'm 4 eons old.
He's like, I'm going to bust you in the forehead in a minute.
That is 400 million years old for you, okay?
Okay, John. Right.
I am in my 12th ecton cycle.
Ecton?
Okay? I'm just short of 400 million years.
All right. You're really close to the mic, man.
I have been sent here to pick up males to bring up to my female aliens. I'm an alien, Bob, okay?
All right, so you're
Last time I did this, I brought all the Mayans up. because they were a great race. But all the Mayans left all the cities.
Oh, so you took them up to
They're dried
space.
up now like raisins, okay? I tried to have the women come back. You know what? Do it yourselves, ladies, because I'm the only guy up there. You know what I mean? It's a headache all the time. So I sent a bunch of my number ones down, all right? 47 to 49, Roswell, whatever. Dropped a
47 to 49.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
1947 to 1949.
I got him. I'm following
him.
I'm throwing a couple of them down. You know what I mean? A dozen or so of my number ones.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Number ones.
So I said, look, you can do it. Go do it yourselves. They crashed their daggone ships all over Roswell, all over the United States. There's some in Germany. I mean, they're everywhere. Russia. I mean, you've seen what happened.
These are your number ones.
You've seen what happened during World War II. I mean, they had the Russian and American military up in Alaska. They were studying all my
He's
girls'
complaining
ships.
about his staff right now. Like, I really need to hire better pilots.
I have to get this podcast up and going because they are in my ear about recruiting men. You know what I mean? And last time I just sent a ship around to every
recruiting
mine.
men. So you're recruiting men to go to space.
Yes, because I'm tired of hearing them all. It's all females. I'm like the queen, but male. I'm the king. You know what I mean? I'm the only one up there. And like I said,
so you're
I'm
on
4
a spaceship?
eons old. Look at the long calendar, the mine's long calendar. I'm running out of time here. I'm on the last 400-year cycle.
So, okay, let me get
and
this
I
straight.
cannot do it.
So you're here on Earth to recruit men to take to space because there's too many women up there.
To shut them up.
There's too many women in space.
Yes. I need a break.
Well, where?
I need a break.
Is there a ship up there? Or
you want me to prove it? Beam me up, ladies. Oh, they're pissed at me. Damn it.
They beam you up through the toilet?
Yeah, no, it sounds something like... But they're pissed at me. They ain't trying. I ain't trying. Whatever, ladies.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't even drive a spaceship crashing in a desert. The desert. You know what I mean?
How do you crash in an open field?
How do you crash in the desert?
Wait a minute.
I don't get the whole gravity thing. Come on, ladies. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude,
Jiminy Christmas.
I hate to say it, but I've crashed in an open field before.
Yeah,
it can be done.
He has done it. Yes, he has.
Well, hey.
So was Dirty Tom, too.
Yeah.
You'd be perfect. How do you crash in the air? I don't understand it. These ladies crashing in the air. I think they were doing their nails or something, or checking their makeup in the side mirror of the spaceship.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so I got two more things to crank
Was
out.
that really your announcement?
Yeah, that's my announcement.
That's
You're an
awesome.
alien recruiting men for space.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on in other news.
It's almost my 4 eon birthday.
Oh, jeez.
I have to get this out there. It's a must.
Oh, man. It's out
It
there.
is a
It's out
must.
there.
Right.
It's online now, John.
Right, listen, but these men are not ready because I see what they do with these women around here on Earth. They can't handle these out of this world women. You know what I'm saying? That's too much for them.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, gosh.
Especially the number ones.
Oh, no.
Number ones.
Great. We're going to get beamed up once we get out of this
You
studio
hear that, number
here.
ones, ladies? Daddy's coming home for a little bit.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up with a Texas
Did we
man.
go that fast? Wow.
A Texas man decapitated his mother's body in, let's see, where this is at? Oklahoma.
I blame guns.
So,
It's the AR-15 specifically.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and high-cap handguns,
There's
too.
really no information on this. I think apparently his mom died from something else, and then he just chopped off her head and ran off.
Post-mortem chop-off?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe threw it in the freezer. He didn't want to lose his mom. I don't know. Like he wanted to keep it for a souvenir.
Sons and their mothers, I'll tell you.
That's a crazy one, and you want to chop off your mom's head, you're nuts. So that's another nut one. The Me Too movement, men are being, they're scared and afraid to mentor women because of feeling that they're going to get said to be sexually harassing them.
See, that's something that is absolutely not even close to anything anywhere near my radar. But it's some silly fear-mongering, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole Me Too thing.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, they just glorify what
How
they
did
want.
that start?
I don't even know. We don't really have enough time to even talk about it. That stuff's crazy. Don't chop off your
It's
mom's head.
cannibalistic.
Don't chop off your mom's head.
Or
Don't
your wiener.
Or your wiener.
Unless you're going to wear a skin mask. Then
Unless
it's
you
okay.
won't shut up. Just shut up.
You can't wear a skin mask either. That's illegal. And make sure that you don't
That ought to be illegal.
Don't
Hear
follow
that buffalo bearded Bob.
Don't follow the fear tactics. Don't be scared of women. They're not scared of you. You're not scared of them. Stop all this fear. No safe spaces. Make fun of each other, people.
You know what? Make everything a safe space by not giving a crap what other people do, because it's none of your business and it's not a big deal. And who cares? Have fun with it. Be
Have
weird.
you punched your neighbor today?
Right. It's not a big deal. Don't tell people to punch
Fear
people.
is everywhere.
That's
You don't.
assault.
Fear is everywhere. You don't have to buy it. You know, you can make it on your own if you really want to.
Go.
Have you waved to your neighbor today?
That's not a
Look
way.
at just let the laws of attraction do their thing, man. Keep it righteous, and good things will come.
And make fun of people, and let them make fun of you.
And before you know it, there's a complete societal shift, paradigm movement.
No more butt hurts.
Yeah,
You know, stop crying.
yeah, it's real dumb. There's some real problems in this world. Don't be petty.
There is no safe space. You are not safe.
Yeah,
So
Get
deal,
out.
Man up, woman up, deal with it.
yeah.
You know, just be.
Danger's not that bad.
Yes, Bob and Bob Show.
Oh, someone's gonna tell me danger's not that bad, like I've never seen it before. Or something.
Right. You're a white guy. You don't know.
Right.
See ya.
Hey.